So the first one is we got some news. We're gonna look at the Asmongold coverage on it. It is about apparently a terrorist attack that happened today. I didn't actually know about this. This is the first time I'm finding out about it.
What the fuck? An attack has occurred on a pro-Israel protest in Boulder, Colorado. Initial reports suggest Molotov cocktails were used, and there are multiple casualties, including children.
What?
We're fucking God.
Sounds horrible. Yeah. I'm watching a video. It's sick. Yeah. Yeah, look at this. This is insane.
What the hell? So will that guy just like chuck Molotov cocktails into a crowd?
Oh boy. Well, people are becoming radicalized. Yeah, I think this is really, really bad. And I think this is going to keep happening more too, by the way. And we're aware and fully investigating the targeted terror attack in Boulder, Colorado. Our agents and law enforcement are on the scene already, and we will share more information as it becomes available. I wonder how long it's going to take. Can I DM Kash Patel? Somebody needs to... Can I message him? I can't DM him. Yeah, because
someone get Kash Patel to follow Asmongold.
I need to tell him, like, bro, like, what are y'all doing? What do you guys do? I tweet at him, yes. Like, really, this is nuts. Y'all really need to get on top of some of these people online. They promote this shit, and there's nothing ever happens. Oh, nothing happens. So, yeah. More online censorship? This isn't... Well, guys, this is not more online censorship. It was never acceptable to make calls for violence and to promote terror organizations. This is not... Guys, this is not censorship. This is the law. This is the First Amendment. I don't want any new rules. All I want is the existing rules to be applied fairly to the people that are obviously breaking them.
Yeah, fair.
Like, somebody got to say this shit, man. FBI personnel, what is this here? Are on the scene in Boulder along with local law enforcement. We are investigating this incident as an act of terror and in the targeted violence. All the necessary assets will be dedicated to this investigation. If you have any investigative tips, please contact the FBI. We can find you. You cannot hide. Well, then why can't you find anybody online?
Good point.
Like, I don't know. Can I DM this guy? Maybe I should DM him. No, I can't DM him either. Yeah, I mean, really, they're not paying attention to this shit. Like, honestly, they're not. And so this is the guy that did it right here. Several pro-Israel
oh my God, he kind of looks like
a with fire by a pro-Hamas protester.
Oh my God, he kind of looks like he looks like a younger version of Democracy Manifest guy.
I don't know about him being pro-Hamas. It's hard to say. We don't know that yet. Yeah, I called the FBI to report people doing this online, and they just hung up on me.
Democracy
Thank goodness you have the balls
Manifest.
to say it for real, bro. Thank you. Yeah, this is embarrassing, man. Like, because the thing is, like, I support... I think...
Get your hands off my penis!
Yeah. Like, how are you letting a bunch of people go from the FBI whenever you should get them... You should recalibrate them and have them, like, do this. Right? Before you fire them, at least.
The governor of Colorado said, I am closely monitoring the situation in Boulder, and my thoughts go out to the people who've been injured and impacted by this heinous act of terror. This is the governor of Colorado calling it a heinous act of terror and saying people have been injured. Hate-filled acts of any kind are unacceptable, he says. While details emerge, the state works with local and federal law enforcement to support this investigation. More info will be provided as it comes available.
According to the witnesses who spoke with CBS, the suspect attacked people walking to remember the Israeli hostage. This is not a protest. It's a peaceful walk to show solidarity with the hostages and their families, and a plea for their release, said Run for Their Lives, who organized the walk.
So, like, there were just a bunch of people walking, and then he just threw a Molotov cocktail in there? Wait, when they say casualties, when they say there are multiple casualties, they mean casualties as in, like, people went to the hospital? They don't mean, like, dead people, right? Yeah. Okay. They mean casualties as in, like military casualties, basically. Okay, yeah.
Terrorism. I mean,
Okay.
it's not even a question whether it's domestic terrorism or not. I mean, it's unequivocally domestic terrorism, and anybody can see that. I mean, if you think it's not, I mean, I think that you're just trying to hide something that's obviously the case.
That's fucked up, dude. Like the fact that, like, some kids were hit by this, that's really fucked
The
up.
video could be TOS, by the way. I know, that's why I'm pausing and not showing the video. But thanks for reminding me. So, yeah, exactly why shutting down harmless domestic terrorism groups is such a necessity. That's right. Clear images of the guy who threw some kind of incendiary device. This is it.
The scary thing is like anybody could make these. I mean, that's why they became popular, right? Is because they're like a incendiary device that, like, anyone can make.
Yep. Jesus.
Witnesses were here. We've taken them to another location to debrief them and interview them. As we do
Yeah,
that,
starter level
I
crafting.
think the picture
Exactly.
will become more clear. But it would be irresponsible for me to speculate on motive this early on. We're only a couple hours into this thing.
About the suspect,
Okay, right
can you confirm the description?
That's what's so scary, is like this could be anybody, basically, right? It doesn't take a special technical skill in order to, like, do something like this. So that's what makes it particularly disturbing.
About him, because we know any picture running in social media.
I haven't seen it, and I wasn't here when he was arrested. All I know is it's an adult male. We're working to identify that person. We're working to figure out where they're from, and we're in contact with our federal partners as well as we figure that out.
Was something thrown at the group?
That is being investigated as well. So our initial call, as I mentioned, was a report that someone was setting people on fire. That is fairly consistent with the injuries that we
So
found
that's
on
what
scene.
happened.
We're not
Wait, how'd this guy not get shot? Where did this happen? Oh, Colorado. True.
100% certain
True.
how that happened, and that's what we're doing to interview. There's a lot.
You know what's funny is that the reason why Colorado became like that is because they had initiatives to make Colorado like a new tech, like basically because, like, you know, Silicon Valley is, like, really expensive and California is really expensive to live in. They wanted to make Colorado like a new tech hub that was cheaper to live in, and so a lot of tech people moved to Colorado, and then that's what happened.
A lot of witnesses that we're interviewing. I suspect within this evening, I suspect we'll have a better idea of exactly how those injuries occurred.
Are you guys going to have additional security for Jewish and Israeli people helping the hostages in the circle right now? Because this is a weekly occurrence. Are you guys going to now have some additional security measures to protect Jews in Boulder?
So what I will say is, again, I cannot confirm right now that this was targeted at a specific group of people. We understand that there's a lot of tensions right now on a lot of issues in the United States and everywhere. Once we have a clear motive, we will react accordingly. And if that motive was a group was targeted, we will absolutely.
No, that's fair for
step
him
up
not
and
to.
ensure that additional security, additional presence. We want people to feel safe no matter what they're here for.
How many people were injured?
I don't have an exact number. What I will say is multiple. I can confirm that Boulder Community Hospital received multiple patients, and some of those patients were transferred to other hospitals. Right now, we have detectives working to find out specifically
If they have to be
the
transferred, that
number.
means there's probably a lot.
Again, hopefully later this evening we'll have an exact number. Right now, I'll just say multiple. Take like one more question.
Any life-threatening injuries?
I believe so. What I'm being told is there are a range of.
Is there an update on this? I'm gonna check. This is saying 6. It's saying 6 so far, but it's hard to tell if that's like old information.
Injuries from very serious to more minor, and again, I just am. My heart goes out to those victims, and we're keeping them in our thoughts, prayers, and minds as they recover. We're very serious to more minor, and again, I just am.
What do you say?
My heart goes out to those victims, and we're keeping them in our thoughts, prayers, and.
So stupid.
and minds as they recover.
Or they're
I gotta go back to
understaffed.
the command post.
Yeah, maybe.
This call. And I'll tell you that we're going to have another update later tonight. We will post that out and we will live stream it as well. So follow our social media for the next update. We will have another update for you this evening.
Are you going to expand the closures to other businesses, or is it for
We will put that out if we do. Right now we just have these.
Uh-huh.
So, thank you. We will put out when we have another update tonight.
Thank you.
I can't like hear that. I can't hear that anymore without thinking about that.
staying away?
The public information officer for the Boulder Police Department. We are in the very
Yeah,
early
my heart
stages
goes exactly, Xana. My heart goes out. Will never be the same.
of active investigation. And Chief Stephen
This is the
Redfern
beginning.
is going to
We'll
speak
watch
to you
this.
about what happened this afternoon.
What happened? There was another terrorist attack from a anti-Israel person who threw Molotov cocktails into a peaceful
That's true. It is a duct tape mic.
protest of children and burned
It was
multiple.
it was probably really impromptu, and there were a lot of a lot of news outlets that wanted to get the information here, so they probably just put that up and duct taped everyone's mic to it.
people
Yeah.
alive and killed them. That's what happened.
Hold on, see it.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah.
As Dion said, my name is Stephen Redfern. I serve as the police chief here in Boulder, Colorado.
Killed?
Today, I'm here to give you very
Yeah, my understanding is that 2 people were killed.
Wait, really?
Is that something that's not true?
6 from 13 minutes ago, 6 injured. What? CNN says the suspect threw a flamethrower? How do you throw a flamethrower? What? What? CNN, excuse me? He threw a flamethrower. I mean, is that possible? I mean, if you put a tape on top of like a spray paint or something, and then you I guess lit that and threw that? It's kind of weird.
If that's not true, then
Is this like a 10 Clipperzine 10 Clipperzines situation over here?
apologize. It's not true. At least it's not certain yet. Okay, so we don't know yet.
preliminary information about an attack that
Yeah,
occurred
we'll find
here
out.
in downtown Boulder at about 1:26 p.m.
Can't know yet.
today.
Yeah, we'll see.
At that time, Boulder dispatch received several calls to the county courthouse located at 1325 Pearl Street here in Boulder. The initial callers indicated that there was a man with a weapon and that people were being set on fire. The initial response by our officers, we were on scene very quickly. When we arrived, we encountered multiple victims that were injured with injuries consistent with burns and other injuries. While our officers and paramedics and fire department personnel got those victims quickly to the hospital, our officers
Might be confusing
were
a Paris
pointed
attack.
out- a
Oh,
suspect
you know
was
what?
pointed
I
out to our
was.
officers on the
I
scene.
apologize. I was
Our
thinking about the
officers
Paris
immediately
attacks.
encountered that suspect.
Wait, Paris
who was
attacks?
taken
Was
into
there another one?
custody without incident?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
suspect, who I'm not
No, I
able
was
to
wrong
ID
about that.
at this time, was
That's right.
taken to the hospital with some minor injuries as
Another
well.
terror attack.
And there's a lot more we're investigating right now before I'm able to release
He filled a 2-gallon glass jar full of fuel and threw it at people.
information on
Man.
that person.
Yeah, I think
the
that makes
scene,
sense.
Itself is contained, but we have a large area here in downtown Boulder closed off right now.
Why can't not
Businesses
ID
have been
them?
closed,
They
and
just
we have
hold,
asked
they don't
people
do it
to avoid the
immediately.
area.
There's 2 things here. Either this guy was specifically wanted to set people on fire for ideological reasons, or he's retarded. Because
It is
if his goal was to deal damage, he sucks basically.
this area is not safe yet. We're dealing with a vehicle of interest. We're dealing with a large area that we are making sure it's safe before we allow people to come back into the scene.
Yeah.
If your vehicle is here in the several block perimeter that we have,
New video,
please
suspect
follow our
yelling, "How
social
many
media.
people
We
have you
will
killed?"
announce when the roads are open and people can retrieve.
If you want to
their
find me to
vehicles
clip
as well.
that, you can
I
send it to a
appreciate
mod. I
everyone's
can
patience
Yeah,
watch it.
fuck him. Yeah.
work through this complex scene. What I will say.
No, sorry. What I meant by ideological, you guys are misunderstanding me. What I mean by ideological is that the fire part was part of the ideology. Basically, it was like an intended, it was basically an intended effect. Basically, was the fire.
Lastly, is This was a beautiful Sunday afternoon in downtown Boulder on
Because, like, honestly, God bless, a lot of these terrorists lately have been retarded. Like, honestly.
on Pearl Street, and this act is unacceptable. I hope you'll join me this evening as we're working.
There's a pause. Do you think there should be
Because they could do way more damage, like, in much easier ways. So, good thing they're retarded, is what I'm saying.
consequences for leftist influencers fueling this extremism? I think that if you are promoting and providing a platform for this type of extremism, then yeah, I do think so. I don't think that being anti-Israel is obviously, right? Like, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Israel. I'm just an even smaller fan of burning people alive that support Israel. I think that's even worse than Israel itself. But like in general, these are two different things. So I do think that I really think that what needs to happen is that
they always try to set it up where it's like they try to always set it up where it's like the same thing, basically. That like, oh, if you think this is bad, then like, oh, you support Israel, then like it's
websites like places
stupid.
like Reddit, and I think Reddit and Twitter.
Guys, we have a serious like retardation problem, I think. Like honestly, like I think there's a retardation epidemic right now in the world.
Are probably the two.
Honestly, it's probably the tetraethyl lead guy. It's probably his fault. The tetraethyl lead guy, dude, he did irreparable damage to humanity.
Two worst places for this type of radicalism, and I think it's especially true on Reddit. I think that really the FBI needs to be, and TikTok. Yeah, TikTok's another one too. You're right. I forgot about that. Twitch. I mean, Twitch is really just pretty much. I mean, it's centered entirely around Hassan, right? I mean, like that's. Let's be honest, right? And like 3 orbiters that don't matter.
Archangel from chat says this was about March. This march was about hostages. It wasn't even in real support of Israel. Yeah, but see, to them, like you have to understand that they're so retarded that they think it's the same thing, right?
So like that's about it. The majority, though, I mean, and Twitch is like a microcosm compared to the size of Twitter or Reddit or TikTok, right? I mean, like, let's be honest, right? And it's like nothing. It's like 1%, if not less. I mean, and so the truth is that I do think that the FBI needs to look into a lot of these people that are advocating for violence and pushing for violence, because I think that it's all over these platforms. It's not like it's something that's like just stated offhandedly or whatever. It's everywhere. Literally everywhere. And I'm not talking about somebody who's like saying, I hate Israel, fuck Israel. I'm saying somebody who's saying we should burn Israelis. You know, Israelis deserve to suffer for this. You know, like if you punch somebody like this or you hurt them, it's okay. Like there are so many overt calls for violence that are happening on social media right now that I don't even think that we need to get into the gray areas, because there are so many black and white examples right now. And nothing is happening to these people, and there's no consequences for it. The websites aren't moderating it, and they're just letting these people run wild. And I think the truth is that the way to solve this is so easy, and these companies are just simply refusing to do it. Like, really, they're just refusing to do anything. And so, and it's not even, the thing is also, like, I blame the platforms, but I mainly blame the FBI. Because this is their job. They're supposed to investigate these people and prevent these people from existing and from, like, you know, posting this stuff and hold them accountable. And nothing happens. And these are the same people, by the way, that were posting the 8647 thing. Yep. Like, how many cryptic messages and calls for violence are we going to have until people realize that these people are obviously malicious, they are obviously aggressive, they are obviously not only condoning violence, but actively trying to support it in the most subversive way that they're allowed to?
Yep.
Come on. Like, what is this? By your initial logic, even Twitch is to be blamed for some extent to this? Twitch, yes. Yes, Twitch has become a hotbed for extremism for this kind of stuff. And I think that really, like, whenever you see Hassan reading the Israeli shooters manifesto, and the chat, his sub-only chat in emote-only mode is spamming his emote for being subscribed to him, and it's a heart emote. And as far as I know, these people probably never got banned. There's nothing that ever... I don't know, like, do they still have their account? Like, whatever happened to these people? Why not say 4chan as well? Because 4chan is so unhinged that literally everything on there is retarded, but the difference between 4chan and Reddit and Twitter and TikTok is that it's much more one-dimensional in its problems. So it's not that 4chan is okay and doing it on 4chan is all right, but what I'm saying is that 4chan has 50 problems and these other places have like 3, and so it's easier to focus on. And also it's probably easier to find people that are posting on like TikTok, for example, because they're posting on accounts that they probably have linked to their phone number. It'd be a lot easier to find them.
That's true.
Through this investigation, we are working.
When did 86 become violence? It never was violence when I worked at a restaurant. Okay. So,
I'm gonna be real. I actually don't even know. I don't even know about that. The 86 thing. What does it mean, chat? Carried by 8, buried. Oh, I see. 86 is American English slang from the restaurant and hospital industry, meaning remove, eject, or refuse someone's service, or to indicate that the item is no longer available. It originated in the 1930s, possibly from lingo or from Prohibition-era practices. Common theories include the use at 86 Bedford Street in New York, where patrons were told 86 leave to avoid the police raids. So it's eject, basically. It's an old slang, basically, from the Prohibition era. But in recent eras, particularly in political charged online discourse, 86 has been interpreted by some groups as a coded reference for assassination, rather than just removing or ejecting them. Interesting. So wait, hold on. It's the opposite. It meant assassination first. Did it? So as far as cultural references, it was used in a Stephen King book, The Shining, where they reference a mob hit as 86. Okay. So King's usage popularized the idea. It's unclear if it affected it or if it was a creative invention. Yeah. So at the very, very minimum, it was referred to in Stephen King's The Shining, which is from 1977. So you're right. It is older than the 2000s. It's kind of hard to see where it came from originally, though. But this is the oldest reference of 86 is like concrete reference of it is looks like it's from 1977 is like the earliest reference I can see here. The origins are not clear, yeah. But if they did use 86, so if this is true, let me just look it up specifically. The Shining 86. Wait, is this a misattribute? Hold on, wait. So the Urban Dictionary that references The Shining is not real? Okay, this is really confusing. It's really hard to find it. There's like nothing. There's nothing that talks about its actual... So there is no quote from Stephen King's The Shining that it actually exists that actually references 86 to kill somebody. So that's not real. The Shining does not contain the term. Keep in mind that Comey doesn't work in the restaurant industry. Yeah, it's kind of hard to say, like the origins of 86 are actually very muddy. The intent is more important than the origins. Well, the thing is, okay, so I'm just trying to be fair here. So like if it's true that 86 means to kick someone out of a restaurant, then couldn't 86 just be reference to impeachment? I'm just, again, like maybe I'm being too fair here, but I think that's a possibility. As much as I want to believe, and I honestly believe that that Comey would want that, would want an assassination. I think he's kind of the crazy person that would do that. In addition to the position that he's in, he should have been a little bit more obviously he should have been more careful with the kind of stuff that he says because of you know, his position, right? Or his old position, basically his notoriety, essentially. Urban Dictionary has it. Urban Dictionary 86. 86 that light. Everyone in sales got 86. Commonly used in restaurants to trash something or get rid of it for the day. People use 86 to abandon something or someone, to turn off a menu item, to stop, to cut off. See, that's what I mean. It's like, if this is true, if this is the actual definition of it, and if this is a possible usage of it, like, it's possible that he thought that he basically meant it as like a ha, impeach this guy again. You know, I mean, I'm just trying to look at it. He obviously meant it as assassinate. I think it's likely based on, like, you know, I think it's likely based on, like, you know, how he acts, but it's not definitive is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to find like where this came from and the origin of it. And yeah, anyway.
Let me think of a way to explain this.
They have no issues with openly saying impeach Trump. That's a good point. That is a good point. Like, why would he mask it like this? You know, why would he be cute about it? It's true.
Well, let me just explain the idea.
That's a good point. They would say that. They say that all the time. You know what? Fair. That's pretty fair. That's pretty fair evidence. Is why would they want to mask saying it? Why wouldn't he just say to impeach Trump? Because they all say it anyway. It's not like it's a politically charged thing to say. So why use coded language? You know, that's fair. That's actually a good point.
Yeah. Rather than try to come up with a metaphor. Trump's not in a restaurant. He's not in a restaurant. He's not working in a restaurant. Neither is James Comey. So it's easy to say that, but different things have different meanings in different contexts.
Came from the command post. We've got dozens.
And that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to find like a possible context for it, that I was trying to examine the possible context. But when you bring up the fact that why not just say impeach, then that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. That it was nefarious in that case, right? I think it's pretty good. Because what reason would he possibly have to not just say impeach? There's no reason. So to use a language that's less understandable is only to basically conceal the meaning behind it. So if you think about it logically as to the intention, it makes a lot of sense that it actually was nefarious. Yeah, I agree with you. Actually.
Dozens and dozens of people here, our state,
Yep,
local, and
I
federal
agree.
partners working through this to figure out exactly what happened.
See, guys, I can change my mind. I just have to work through it in my mind, right? And again, like, I mean, to be honest, I'm gonna be real. I already believed that in the first place. But I was trying to see if there was like a misunderstanding, possibly. If like there was any possible way that you could look at it and then basically see a different thing. I was trying to look at it from a different angle, right? I was trying to look at it from a different perspective and see if I could see a possible different result. But after reanalysis, it's very obvious that like intent wise, like the intent matches the result, basically, right?
I ask for a little bit of patience as we do that, but also I ask that you join me in thinking about our victims, the families of those victims, and everyone involved in this tragedy.
Yeah.
Our hearts go out to them, and we are going to do everything we can to work as hard as we can throughout the evening to provide more information and get answers for everyone. With that, as I stated, it would be irresponsible for me to speculate right now on motive and other things.
Yeah, it's hard to
I
say.
will take maybe a handful of questions, but then I've got to go back to a brief.
Because then he says, why does he have to dog whistle? He could just do stuff behind the scenes to not implicate himself. Because he's kind of a narcissist. That's why, Castani. He wants everybody to know that like that he's a badass, basically. That's why.
I had a quick one.
Yes, Sean.
Was an actual protest going on when this occurred? Were a group of people gathered and were words said that would
Vain is a better word, yeah. What Alolan said, he's vain. Yeah.
indicate this had anything at all to do with that protest?
So what I will tell you, on Pearl Street, it's a walking pedestrian mall downtown here. There was a lot of people out. Very beautiful day.
Do you think this attack was fueled by left-wing extremism? Yeah. I mean, like, I'm not the police, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. But yeah, 100%.
The gut says yeah.
I mean, they have to be sure before they say it, because like them saying it means more than me saying it. But it sure seems like it.
Mm-hmm.
There was a group of pro-Israel peaceful demonstration. I wouldn't even call it a protest. I believe.
You don't even know what happened? I mean, I just watched him explain what happened, right? I mean, like, we've been looking at it. What do you mean I don't know what happened? It's obvious what happened. They just said what happened.
That happens frequently here. They were there in that area. We are looking and actively interviewing victims and witnesses to determine if that group was targeted or others, and we just don't have those
Molotov
answers
cocktails
yet.
are
Those
free
things we'll
speech, guys.
Be able to provide you later this evening.
FBI is already calling it a targeted terror attack.
Yeah.
Would you also refer to it as a terror attack?
So I've been in contact with our local FBI multiple times. We are in contact with them here. We are not calling it a terror attack at this point. Again, it's way too early to speculate motive. You know, I know there's a lot out there on social media, but I ask people just to give us a little bit of patience while we work through a really complex scene. A lot of witnesses were here. We've taken them to another location to debrief them and interview them. As we do that, I think the picture will become more clear. But it would be irresponsible for me to speculate on motive this early on. We're only a couple hours into this thing.
About the suspect, can you confirm the description about him? Because we know any picture running in social media.
I haven't seen it, and I wasn't here when he was arrested.
Yeah.
All I know is it's an adult male. We're working
Where
to
is this?
identify
It's in
that person.
Boulder,
We're working to figure
Colorado.
out where they're from, and we're in contact with our federal partners as well as we figure that out.
Was something thrown at the group?
That is being investigated as well. So our initial call, as I mentioned, was
Yeah, so this is the part that I had already seen. And so, yeah, it seems pretty obvious that that's what happened. Let me go back. It looks like this is frozen or
someone was setting
something.
people on fire.
We're here. We can't do nothing about that. We can't do nothing. We can. Not here. You have to answer this. Not here, bro. You're not.
I'm taking video right now.
I feel like this guy, like the instant he threatened anybody with like a bomb or anything like that, this guy would have gotten instantly lit, like anywhere else, basically.
He's spraying alcohol.
Spraying alcohol, but what he did was he made it look like he was here.
He's making Molotov cocktails.
Yeah, see, they're even saying that it's Molotov cocktails. This guy would have gotten fucking lit up.
I mean, he just said Palestine. Listen. So, I mean, it's very obvious that this was a politically motivated action.
Well, we can't do it when he's got Molotov cocktails in there. If you are fighting, you have to. That's what he's got right here. Is Molotov cocktails.
Holy shit.
So wait, hold on. How okay. If so he did this before, hold on. He did this before people got bombed? Like before people got bombed, he was like talking shit for like a long ass time. Look at the ground, it's all burnt. So he did it already. He did it already, basically. So how was this guy still up? How did this guy not get shot by like 10 people? It's a gun freeze. Oh my god. Is this the... Hold on.
I'm taking video right now.
Molotov cocktails.
Oh fuck. It's a courthouse. You're right. It is a gun-free zone. This is a courthouse. Well, actually, out here isn't a gun-free zone. Inside... Well, it depends. Where's the... Hold on. Is the area... How far does the gun-free zone of a courthouse extend in Colorado? Does it extend to the outside areas. Yeah, so for those of you that don't carry guns, courthouses are gun-free zones. You're not allowed to have a gun inside of a courthouse. Okay. Extend to outside areas, the prohibition to guns explicitly includes parking areas adjacent to the courthouse, but there's no specific distance defined. So state law, prohibition class 1 misdemeanor, knowingly carrying a firearm without openly concealed in a courthouse or any building used for court proceedings, adjacent parking areas. So it doesn't actually cover the outdoor area technically. I'm not a lawyer, guys, but I'm reading the law right now. It does not cover. It only covers adjacent parking areas, such as parking structures or buildings. So if it's outside, you should be able to. Are Molotov cocktails legal to carry? Well, it's kind of hard to tell if it's a Molotov cocktail. I think they're significantly harder to identify as a Molotov cocktail. In addition, he's a criminal, so they can do whatever they want. Apparently, it's usually how it goes. Usually, how it goes is criminals don't follow laws, which is again the reason why gun-free zones are done. Because this guy could have had a gun on him, and it wouldn't have mattered, right? Like if this guy had a gun. The gun-free zone isn't a magic force field that basically has a filter where if you have a gun, you can't walk into the force field. All a gun-free zone does is make it so that law-abiding people can't have guns in the area. It doesn't prevent criminals from having guns, which is why I'm against the gun-free zones, because they're retarded. Basically, they're stupid. Anytime I see a gun-free zone, I don't want to be anywhere near there because it basically means that that everybody's unarmed in there except for criminals. Okay, so only schools have the aura, basically the 1,000 feet aura that you can't carry a gun in. That makes it so that yeah. So it seems that there is no specific distance listed in local law of Boulder's municipal code to specify a fixed distance from the courthouse. So this is just a case of the people not having guns. I think, like at least that's the analysis of it that I'm reading based on the laws themselves. It seems that you can carry. So some people are, hold on, wait, but there are people that are speculating. There's speculation that the courthouse gun-free zone extends past the actual courthouse building itself and the parking structures, but I'm not seeing anything about that in the actual law. See if we can look this up here. So the Colorado General Assembly session, crimes enforcement, the act the act. So let's just let's just pop out of here and let's take a look. Okay. So the act prohibits a person from knowingly carrying a firearm, both openly and concealed in the following government buildings: state legislative buildings, courthouse. So this is the one that we're using here. This courthouse is the important one. Unlawful carrying, a class 1 misdemeanor. And persons who hold a permit to conceal carry a handgun who are carrying concealed in an adjacent parking area. So it's possible, like if there's street parking, like does this count as adjacent parking area? Is that a part of the rules? The act permits the local government to enact a law permitting carrying a local government building. So this is clearly outside. So it's actually a gray area. It's actually ambiguous. Because when they say a local parking area, does that include, like, for instance, like I can't see because I don't have, I'm not there. I'm not from there. So like if they have like parking, like say over here, right? Like on this side or on this side or like on this side, then like, does that count as like a parking area? But if I were to guess, I would say this is a case that just nobody brought guns. I think nobody wanted, there were just no concealed carriers in the group.
I mean, he just said palace. Listen. So, I mean, it's very obvious that this was a politically motivated
Because all I'm saying, like, is if this guy like, I'm pretty sure in Texas, especially at like a kind of more conservative sort of a thing, event, if you were to fucking Molotov cocktail that, you would get fucking lit. Like, actually, you know what? Hold on. Hold on. I don't know, actually. Hold on. The reason why is because there's a lot of stigma around... Okay, so... Would I light this guy up if I was there? I want to say yes, but I don't know if I would. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Of course, that calculation changes if, like, he hit my mom with a Molotov cocktail. Then I would 100% light this guy. I would 200% light this guy up if he hit my mom with a Molotov cocktail. Or a friend of mine. A friend, family, neighbor. Then, yeah, this guy's 100% getting lit. But if it's people I don't know, and they're already hit by the Molotov cocktail, like, would I light this guy up? I probably would retreat, actually. Yeah, I think I would retreat, honestly. I would probably retreat. Well, actually, there's only one case maybe I would, is if, like, he was threatening kids. If there were, like, more kids that were being threatened by this guy, then I probably would do something. But otherwise, I think I would retreat. If it was just adults in the area, I would, like, it was just regular adults in the area, I'd probably retreat, honestly. Because, I mean, I already know what they do to people that try to defend themselves. I'm old enough to remember, like, the Rittenhouse stuff, right? So...
Action.
And then, like, if that happens to me, that affects my whole family. My whole family and all my friends have to deal with me being in court and, like, possibly being incarcerated for, like, a long time. And, like, I don't know if that's worth it.
Well, we can't do it when he's got Molotov cocktails in there.
If you are fighting, you have to...
That's what he's got right here, is Molotov cocktails.
Holy shit. Wow. And this is the guys...
What if instead of lighting him up, hitting the bottle, hitting a moving bottle like that is actually not as easy as you think it is? Hoppy. And also, you only fire your gun in the most efficient way to end a threat. This isn't like a fucking game. You know, since this is not a carnival game where you're trying to get like the no death ending, like the super special, like I didn't kill anybody ending. If a person's like, you only draw your gun and you only fire your gun to save life, and when you're doing it to save life, you do it in the most efficient way possible.
Name, I don't know. This is the definition of terrorism. Yeah. Mohammed Solomon. Public execution should be brought back. Yeah, I'd be fine if we did that. Anyway, so this is pretty much what it is.
That's crazy. Man. It's actually wild to me that this guy...
What
like,
the
how is this... Okay, like, it's so crazy to me that this guy was up long enough to even make this speech. Here, I'll link you guys the video. This is Asmongold video. I'll link it to you guys. But, okay. So let me explain why this is ridiculous, okay? This is way more ridiculous than I thought. Like, originally I was like, man, like, this guy, like, firebombed a bunch of people. That's crazy, right? This is why this is even particular. This is more egregious than I thought. And the reason why is, how is this guy even making this speech? How is it possible? Let's remove concealed carrier people in general. Let's pretend like they're not there. They're in front of a courthouse. How is the police not doing anything about this? How does this guy have the time to firebomb people, it to go out like this, like it's not on fire anymore, and then this guy is like threatening some more? How is this even possible? Opportunity, capability, intent? Yeah, how is this possible? Please notice the pride flag. I think we can all see the flag. Madzuri. Hot take, the only flags that should fly at any government buildings are the United States flag and possibly the state flag. That's it. I don't believe any other flag should be flown at these things. I don't give a shit like where they're from, what they stand for. I don't care. None of the other flags should fly at any of these things. America only, state America. That's it. But anyway, how are the police? How is this? I mean, look at this. Look how long he does this for. Right, and this is only for as long as we have.
Someone was setting people on fire.
Look at this.
We're here. We can't do nothing about that. We can't do nothing.
We can!
Not here.
You have to answer this!
Not here, bro.
You're not!
How is this possible?
You have to answer this!
How are there this many people there? People were screaming, people were shouting, people were on fire. And the culprit is still up.
Spraying alcohol, too. He's making Molotov cocktails.
I mean, he just said palace. Listen.
How is this? This is 46 seconds in front of a court building. How is this possible? Sirwani says, weak man? Dude, honestly, for real. This is pathetic. How long does it take you to get out of their chair and go? No, what I'm saying is, if they're going to make this a gun-free area and then they're going to have like a freaking rally here. I mean, not a rally, going to have like an event? You're telling me there's no police? They didn't deploy any police to like look at this? And that there's none in the crowd? There's not like an off-duty cop in the crowd. There's no like there's no police like in the surrounding area, in the capital area? How is that possible? This is so fucking bad. This is unreal. People need to start taking responsibility for themselves and their loved ones. This is ridiculous. And their communities, actually. This is offensive, actually. If this guy wanted to do more, if this guy wasn't such a retard, he could have done so much more damage to everybody there. And this is crazy. This is like what a weak society looks like, to be honest. Like this is so pathetic. Like I'm actually mad.